Biblical scholars said that Paul had an eye problem, he had vision problem. This is a man who could raise the dead. This is a man who could allow the cripple to walk, but he had an infirmity in his body. And that was a checklist for him. And that was what made him to know that after all, he also is a human being. After all his giftings, after all the good things that comes in his life, he was unable to deal with that thing. And that was the very thing that kept him humble. That was the very thing that kept him closer to God. Beloved, there are some of us without that negative thing in our life, without that unanswered prayer in our life, without that infirmity in our life. There are some of us without that childlessness issues, without joblessness issues, without that financial issues. We will never draw closer to God. If all is rosy, some of us will always run away from God. Some of us, if everything good comes in our way, it will be difficult for us to find ourselves in the presence of God. Some of us, had it not been that predicament, had it not been God allowing Satan to torment you and to blow you and to block you, there is no way you ever fast. There is no way you ever pray to God. There is no way you ever enter into the church premises. There is no way you always enter into the program that the church is organizing. And so God is a wise God. He knows that when the waters are so calm, some of his children will be so proud and they will forget that it's the doings of the Lord. And God knows that when he allows everything to be smooth sometimes for his children, we will forget and neglect and forget the stone that we were held from. And so God put a checklist in our life so that we always run back to God. And so the verse 8 says, 2 Corinthians 12 verse number 8. He says, concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times to take it away from him. Concerning Satan perfecting him, concerning an agent of Satan tormenting him, Paul says he prayed to the Lord concerning these things 3 times. In other words, he prayed as he ought to pray about the challenge. In other words, he dealt with the issue as he ought to dealt with. But in all these things, this was the answer from God. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. Are you not surprised that despite your predicament, you are still moving on in your life? Oh, despite the tribulation that befell you, you are still walking majestically. And people see you and they are surprised. That should